in about like 24 hours here, slightly over 24 hours, Hannah will be joining Sam and I on the island of Newfoundland, which until yesterday was like perfect Hannah temperature.
Okay.
And then sort of like the minute it knew you were imminently arriving, it was like, wow, 125 millimeters of rain.
No.
And also, let's make it 12 degrees.
No. Why?
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Midlight Crisis, a real podcast hosted by three grown-up biologists revisiting books from our teens, and it's totally cool. I am one of your hosts, Sophie, and today I have to figure out how to introduce our random name generator once again.
You only just figured it out for the last one.
I really only just figured it out for the last one. This is a problem. If only I tried to figure it out even a minute before we started recording.
Yeah,
no.
wow. If only you knew this was coming.
If only I knew this was coming. But no, you're getting the real experience live.
Live from 2 weeks ago.
Live from 2 weeks ago. It's me. So it's me. It's me is just going to be the introduction. No, I'm Sophie. And I have a fantastical job from a fantastical town?
Place, maybe?
A fantastical place, yeah.
I would totally read a book called A Fantastical Job in a Fantastical Place. That would get me instantly.
By T.J. Clune. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that not what House in the Cerulean Sea is?
Well, that one's only a place.
He has a fantastical job. He's a caseworker for
but it's not in the
magical youth.
title. It's not in the title.
Oh, okay, sure. You're right. Okay. Of course. Anyway, I'm Sophie, and I have a job in a place.
Yeah.
And both of those together are... Nope, that's not great. Hi, I'm Sophie, and I am a sword pointer from the hamlet of small boulders the size of large boulders.
Yeah. So like a guard, maybe? You're a guard?
Sword pointer. No.
Sword pointer? Do you point at swords or with swords?
I'm like how Ken's job is beach.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just sword pointer. I don't do anything with it after that.
But do you point at the swords or with the swords?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beach.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know why you're so confused.
Yeah, me
Makes
neither,
perfect
for
sense.
sure.
Is it confusing because I'm from the hamlet of small boulders the size of large boulders?
No, weirdly, that part is perfectly fine.
That part makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so whomst and where are you guys from?
My name's Sam, and I am a whale sinker from the Burrow of Demons.
Whoa.
Wow.
Only a demon would have sink a whale.
Hannah's
It's
How dare you.
nemesis.
That's so rude.
Yeah.
That's pretty rude.
Whale sinker. Wait. Okay, I do need to clarify. Is it whale sinker like S-I-N-K sinking or like S-Y-N-C?
Oh, lol. No, the
Are you
first one.
sinking with the whales?
No.
Okay.
I'm
God,
sinking
I wanna be the second
the
one.
whales to make them whalefall habitats in the
whale
deep
falls.
depths of the ocean.
Wow. That is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll accept it if it's for ecological purposes.
For whale
For the good
falls.
of the
Yeah.
ecosystems.
Yeah,
Whales are not Bluetooth compatible.
no.
That's why you can't sync
Well,
with
has
them.
anyone tried?
Has anyone tried?
Has anyone tried?
Yeah, but I keep getting an error that my OneDrive is full. They want me to pay $50
Yeah.
to get more whales.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, who, what, and where is the last person from?
Me. My name is Hannah, and for my day job, I am a water leader from the hamlet of Waves.
What?
Wow. That's a
It
good
It all
one.
goes together at
It's-
least.
Yeah,
It
it's
all goes
internally
together.
consistent.
Yeah.
Know where I lead the water to. Maybe I just walk in front of the tide line all day, every day. Be like, no, this is where the tide is right now.
You lead it forward and back with every single wave.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're like, okay, now come up. Okay, now go back. Okay, now come up. Okay,
Yeah.
now go back.
I have like a traffic control vest and a whistle, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Or like a conductor.
Yeah, a little baton.
Wow. Yeah, it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, it's really important for the local
Yeah.
economy somehow.
You thought the waves just went by themselves? Come on.
No, someone has to lead that shit.
Yeah, we're job creators.
Here in the hamlets, we have really important
Here in
careers.
the hamlets. Yeah, people gotta have something to do.
Yeah.
And of course, the reason that we have these fantastical jobs in these fantastical places is because we are reading the Shadowhunter Chronicles, Book 1, City of Bones.
Wow.
And, as the person who maybe knows the least.
Incorrect.
I was like, I think you know more than Hannah.
You watched the movie.
I did
Didn't
watch
you?
the movie. The only thing I remember about it is that Aidan Turner was a hot werewolf dad.
Which one's Aidan Turner? Is he the hot elf? I mean,
no, he's
hot
the hot
dwarf.
dwarf. He's the hot dwarf.
Oh, right. Okay. He's the hot dwarf from The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Anyway, as the person who
Okay.
hasn't seen the whole movie or read a whole book, and therefore knows the least amount, hypothetically, we're fighting to be at the bottom here.
Yeah. It's a race
Because
to the bottom.
of that, yeah, I assume that the Shadowhunters live in the City of Bones, and that's why our generator is doing
you
this.
are wrong.
Oh, what?
Well, dang, spoilers.
Maybe they just come
No,
from
that's
there.
fine.
No.
Maybe
They
they,
don't-
want to go
They
there.
don't live there now, but they evolved there and then left to come to the real world. Because isn't this like an urban fantasy kind of?
Maybe that's where their bones come from.
No.
Oh.
No.
It's okay, so it's a skeleton city, and the shadows are like the evil souls trying to get back to their skeletons to be alive again. And that's why they need shadow hunters to kill the evil spirits before they can reanimate the bones.
No.
This all sounds right to me. I'm gonna say what I remember about
Okay.
this book before Hannah whimsically creates memories for me.
Yeah.
I've told Sam this story like 14 times, but that's too bad because she's gonna have to listen to it again. But I tried to read City of Bones back when, I was a teen and it was the time of my life where you should read
Mhm.
City of Bones. But unfortunately, right before I had read City of Bones, I had just finished what I thought would be like a whimsical, like elemental magic fantasy world book. I literally don't even remember the name or the author. But
Great story.
the ending of the book is a sister and a brother have fallen in love without knowing that they are siblings. They have like wild sex in a cave on the mountain, and like one of them is a firebender or whatever the hell, and they get so fired up while having sex that they literally burn the other one to ash, and then learn that they're siblings and that they did incest. And that book traumatized me so much that I went into City of Bones, where, spoilers, either they think they're siblings or they are siblings, but there's like a moment where they're like, the romantic interests are like, oh shit, or the reader is like, oh shit, they might be related. And I just like noped the fuck out of there so fast.
I'm trying to
just
Google for
because
your
of that.
book.
Yeah, good luck with that. I really
can't-
don't remember any details of it. And so honestly, that's the only reason I didn't read City of Bones. So I got to the part where like they kissed the first time or something, and that was, or stared deeply into each other's eyes or whatever flirting was in that book. And that was about it. And that's all I remember from that book, which is mostly about another book.
You got pretty far then, because their kiss doesn't happen until like I think 75% of the way through.
Yeah, like, because the girl is like a regular person, but then she's not, I think.
Yeah.
But she gets like brought in. I really only remember Fake Strokes. She gets brought in to be the whatever, and he's also there, and then they're flirting, and then I was like, anyway, bye.
Yeah.
And that's my memory of it. So I'm excited to see how I react to it with all of these, healthy years of recovery between reading that other book and then getting to this one again.
I can guess it won't be well.
It might not be. Who knows? Maybe I'm going to have a great time.
Yeah, you might. You might not.
Like I have with many of the other books we've read.
Yeah.
This way.
Yeah, I mean, if we know anything, it's that reading a book agonizingly slowly, one chapter at a time, and picking apart every single detail is the way to make you love it wholeheartedly and without reservation.
Yeah, no problems were experienced by anybody.
No.
What about you guys? Should we do Sam next, or should we do Hannah next? Because Hannah also doesn't know anything.
Yeah, I'll go next, and then we can let Sam have the floor. How about that?
Because Sam can tell us how wrong we are.
Yeah, Sam actually knows things about these books. I never read them determinedly for a couple of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
One of just being that I decided to be a hater.
Yeah. Yeah, one of those.
But you
not
love
like
to
other
spite
girls.
read things.
I do like to spite read things, but I like to spite read things that I've already started and have to not DNF.
Right. So you were like, I absolutely can't pick up this book because then I'll have to finish it.
Not a chance. I think I was kind of over the whole genre that I assume this is in at the moment of like the super special girl who discovers she is super special and then has a love triangle in a fantasy setting. Also, I don't like the covers a lot. I hate the cover so much.
On this podcast, we support judging books by their covers.
Literally, how else are you supposed to judge a book? I don't have time to read every book before I judge it. This is the only information they're giving me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, back in my Tumblr days, I spent like 2 full days reading like an expose about how Cassandra Clare sucked, and I can't remember any of it except she maybe plagiarized during Harry Potter fandom era.
Oh, the drama.
I tried looking it up and everything was like, maybe. He said, she said, we don't know.
Yeah.
But as a result, I was a hater. Never read it. Did not want to read it. I still do not want to read it. And then I went to the movies, or to the first movie when it came out, because it was like second or third year university, and my friends wanted to go see it, and I wanted to have friends, so I went to see it, and I didn't understand a single thing that was happening.
Yeah.
But the main actress had very intense eyebrows, and Aidan Turner was in it. That's all I remember.
To like about eyebrows and Aidan Turner.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he was like a hot dad, which apparently I like.
You're gonna finish that sentence? Call yourself out?
I like fictional hot dads. I don't.
Yeah.
I feel ambivalent about real life ones. But I like
real life hot dads?
Real life hot dads are usually married or have children, neither of which I'm into.
Yeah, fictional dads have children.
Yeah, but they have fictional children.
Oh, okay. Okay, I understand now.
Yeah, there's perfect logic here. I don't know what your problem is.
Wow. What a good time. So, Sam.
Sam, help.
How wrong were all of us?
You're not even... Well, you're a little close, I guess.
Oh.
I don't know that I said anything of substance enough to be wrong. I think she's special and they kiss. And I'm like, is that wrong?
Yeah, she has like a special superpower that she didn't know about until she ran away from home as an angsty teen and got saved by a hot guy and went to a parallel world. And then she had to save it, is my guess of the plot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My fictional memories are telling me she is... Yeah, she meets Gale from the Hunger Games, essentially.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, it's 4
That's
from Divergent.
That's what I'm picturing.
It is 4.
Oh, right.
4 coded. Except these came out... This came out first. This was before... I think this was before Divergent.
Oh, that makes sense. Divergent killed the whole genre.
Yeah.
She can see fairies or something.
Oh, really?
No, I'm conflating it with like every other book I read in this time period.
There's like evil runes that appear on buildings or are written on buildings, and you need a blacklight or magic eyeballs to see them.
Are you
Oh
just
my
thinking
God.
of the Battle of the Labyrinth, Percy
No,
Jackson?
I think I was thinking specifically of the scene in Pacific Rim where they're trying to find the underground kaiju bird stealer.
I was thinking of a Holly Black book. So that's where we're at. Sam, how about you just tell us how much you liked these books at the time? I would like to know that.
Well, I mean, it wasn't even at the time. I've reread these like very recently. Maybe not very. I think I reread them during COVID, I think. So I guess that's kind of recently.
Compared to the other books you read around this time, how much did you just like the Shadowhunter trilogy?
No, like City of Bones was my favorite book, and I would have yelled that from like a rooftop. Like I would say I used to say City of Bones was my favorite because I didn't want to say Twilight because that was too generic, but like Twilight probably was still my favorite, let's be honest.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but you weren't like the other girls, so you couldn't say that.
No, but I was like very adamant that like City of Bones was like my favorite, like after Twilight and I guess Harry Potter. Like it was very high up there. Oh, and Hunger Games. Yeah, like my trinity was Twilight, Hunger Games, City of Bones, Shadowhunters. But the only thing that kind of kept Shadowhunters going was that she kept releasing books in the series and they kept getting better. So essentially what happened was City of Bones was out. I think we were in like grade 10, like grade 10, 11.
2007, I think.
Okay, so maybe it was 9, 10, but I discovered it in like grade 10, 11. And when I discovered it, City of Bones and City of Ashes were the only two books out. So I read City of Bones and then I read City of Ashes. And then at the time, City of Glass, which was the conclusion to the first trilogy, wasn't out yet. And I remember I had a friend in high school who knew Cassandra Clare and had an arc of City of Glass. And it was like the best moment ever because I got to read this arc after she was done and I got to read City of Glass before anybody else. And I felt so cool.
That's so cool.
Because this was like still in high school, right? And I was like, oh my God, I'm so cool, but I'm such a nerd.
Who even had arcs back then?
Well, yeah, and the only way you could get them is if you knew the author. And I don't remember how this girl knew her. I think she like met her at like a meet and greet or something and somehow connected. Must have been something on like, I don't know, online. Either way, I got to read this arc. It was very cool. And then once that trilogy finished, she decided to keep going with it, and she released 3 other books continuing in the original trilogy, but they're 2 standalone trilogies, if that makes sense. Like, you're not going to read the second trilogy probably without reading the first one, but you could. So she always like writes in trilogies. And then she wrote The Infernal Devices, which takes place in Victorian England, which was its own trilogy. And then she wrote...
Is it The Infernal Devices in the same universe? Because I've heard of that one.
It's all in the same universe.
It was the same thing.
All same universe.
It's all the same?
All the characters are related. The family tree is ginormous. Like, it's everything is connected. Like, if the book is in the Shadowhunters Chronicles, the only book that Cassandra Clare has written that is not in the Shadowhunter Chronicles is Swordcatchers, which is her adult debut that came out last year. Every other book she has released is a Shadowhunters book of some sort or another.
If I came up with a cool world, I probably would just write 4,000 books in that world.
Yeah, and she's like milking it. And I
get it.
Like was a big fan of it. And then so she released The Infernal Devices, which was a huge success. Like, I'd argue that one is her best trilogy and it is her most popular. It got really famous again because of TikTok. And it was probably Book Talk's, like, after Akatar's first, like, I don't know, big hit. And this was like in 2020, though. It's not so much anymore. It was more when there was a lot younger crowd on Book Talk. Or maybe I'm just not on that side of Book Talk anymore. I don't know. But anyways, then there's that.
Hard to say.
Yeah. And then she released the Dark Artifice series, which was 10 years after the City of Bones, Mortal Instruments trilogy. And then
in our universe or in that universe?
in that universe.
10 years after.
Like, so it's like,
that one,
yeah,
okay.
so it's like Jason and Clary, which are the main characters in this one, are like married and, having fun.
Gotcha.
And then she released the most
having 2.5 children.
Recent, yes. The most recent is, what is the trilogy called? I don't remember what it's called, but the first one is Chain of Gold, I think. Clearly,
I've seen those ones.
Yeah, clearly it sat well in my brain because I hated it. The first book was great, and then it just went downhill, and so I've just kind of given up on Shadowhunter books since then because I realized I think I've outgrown them. Anyways, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I've clearly am a Shadowhunters fangirl, so oops.
Yeah, I don't think I realized they were like your favorites. I knew you liked them.
Oh no,
but
I was
didn't realize it was like that high.
Obsessed.
Oh.
I love Jace Wayland. Like, that man was my like book boyfriend of the time.
Book boyfriend, yeah. Without doing spoilers, since Sophie and I do not remember anything about this plot, what was it about these books that you liked so much?
The romance was a big aspect, even though it is a little bit fucked up with the incest. But
what with the incest?
Well,
listen,
who doesn't love
it's not actually okay. I want to just preface this by like, it's not actually incest, and like, it's very obvious throughout that it's being manipulated, and yeah, it's questionable. And it is what it is. But George R. R. Martin's done worse. And he's on mainstream television, so I'm like, whatever.
I literally think my problem was that I had never read a book before that had given me like POV romance, like between characters where like they were clearly falling in love, and like to have that quote unquote betrayed by something that I personally find not ideal, like to have it like because it had happened like literally just in a different book, I was like, oh my god, what if I get betrayed again right now? I don't want to read this.
I mean,
but again, like now that I'm older and I'm like, other books have done worse. Again, George R. R. Martin. And it's like, like choosing to read that's fine. You're making that choice. Someone can tell an interesting story that way. Probably.
Yeah, I'm clowning on it because I think it's hilarious, but I also don't have any objection to like incest in fiction more than I do to other fucked up relationship tropes in fiction. Like, it's all fake, so who cares?
Yeah.
I just think it's funny to make fun of it.
Yeah, so like, and the romance aspect of the first book, I mean, you don't find out those bad things until like the last 10%, but I was a big fan of the, like, not like the other girls, loner girls, like, all of a sudden you find out you're, like, part of this.
Secretly magical.
Yeah. So it just, like, hit all that. Yeah. But what I liked about this one, too, is that it incorporated, like, everything, because it's got, like, magic in itself. It's got creatures. It's got kind of, like, everything. So it's just, like, a fun combination of everything, and like the plot's pretty good. I'm trying to remember if it is actually good or that's just my memory, but like it's like a decent story.
Okay, I wanted to ask, because do you feel like if she had just stopped after the first trilogy and just had like left it alone, do you think you would like it more than if she had continued and kind of like oversaturated, like you specifically, right? Because you're saying you kind of fell off.
I liked it.
Some of the more recent books.
I liked like the Infernal Devices, fantastic trilogy, really good. The Dark Artifices trilogy, probably still, that's like my favorite one. I don't remember, I'd have to reread it again to see if it holds up, but like I stayed up until like 1, 2 a.m. reading those books, and like I was living in Toronto when I read that, because I remember I was with my roommate. And I remember her parents came in and they're like, you're still reading, and I'm reading this like 900-page book. That was like well into my 20s.
So yeah, like recently-ish, you have enjoyed the first and second trilogy kind of thing.
Yeah, it was just the most recent one, the Chain of Iron ones. I don't...
Okay.
I don't know if I've just outgrown them, but like... I don't know why people love them. There was like too many characters, too much going on. I think she's grasped so much because there's only like, I feel like so many catastrophes you can make within the same world before it kind of gets like, really? Like another thing? Like,
oh my God,
and this
before you become Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, and even, don't get me started on the MCU because that is
I know,
like a
right?
whole other thing. And actually, no, I think that's a fair comparison to make because it is very similar to that. Because like I've lost the MCU, like it's lost me. I'm done. It's too far. Yeah, and I think that's what this most recent trilogy did to me too. And it's only like I think 20 years after the Infernal Devices trilogy. So you have a lot of the same characters still. So you're just getting off this like catastrophe that these characters already had to go through in the first trilogy. 20 years later, you're now telling me their kids have to go through another one plus them. And it was like, I don't know. It was just like too much for me. So, yeah. But there are people still very much into it. It's still going very strong. She's releasing another trilogy that's after the Dark Artifices one. So it would go like Mortal Instruments, Dark Artifices, and then this new one, which would take place around like 2020-ish, I think. I could be wrong with that though.
They're gonna get COVID.
I hope not. I really hate when books
oh
do
my
that.
God, they might.
I'm like, don't.
It'd be so funny.
The only acceptable one is Kaiju Preservation.
That is the only I agree. But yeah, anyways, so like I feel like it's almost not fair to put you two through this with me because like again, I've reread these recently. Like they're very close to me. I don't feel as strongly about them anymore, like as I did, but I know far too much about this world and far too much about these books. So
I'm so excited that there's going to be someone here who can answer our questions.
Yeah.
Yep, me too.
Finally.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
The balance of two idiots and an expert is like ideal. So I'm glad we're finally hitting it.
Yeah. Am I the only one of the three of us who like literally got so confused by the second trilogy being named The Infernal Devices? And there was that other book series that was like kind of popular at the time, but geared more towards like, you know, young men, I guess. The like Philip Reeve books. Because the first one was called Mortal Engines, which got me confused with Mortal Instruments. And then the third book was called Infernal Devices. And so I got, because I've seen those books around, and I got so confused when people started talking about Cassandra Clare, Infernal Devices, and I was like, wait, isn't that somebody else? And I literally until just now, and I've been like, oh, this explains it. There was a book. The only other anecdote I wanted to share based on what you said was that it feels very much like how the World of Warcraft expansions are going now, where like 3 expansions ago, they're like, the demon realm crashed into ours. It was the end of the world. And then the next one, they're like, and now the land of the dead portal opened, and we have to kill God of Death, I guess. And then the one after that, they're like, another portal to Dragon World. The dragons who created the universe, now you have to go there.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, you gotta stop upping the ante.
Yeah. I like stopped watching Supernatural around season 13, I think. But I heard that once they got past killing Satan and a war between heaven and hell, at some point there's super hell, and one of the characters goes to super hell. And I don't really know what that means. But I feel like
it's the hell for hell. You get it.
It's like the hell that's worse than hell because they nerfed hell.
We as a society just need to come to terms that things can end. And that's okay.
Yeah. Right?
And that we don't need to like keep making everything more. Like the MCU can end.
It doesn't have
Star
to keep
Wars
going.
can end. It's okay.
It can just end.
Like, Shadowhunter Chronicles can end. It's fine. But you know what? She's still making bank, and I respect a woman who hustles. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Take every penny of it you can. I just will no longer be reading them. Like I'm done.
I would also not stop writing at that point, you know? I'd be like,
neither.
yeah, I'm going to tell a story about, you know, the earth exploding, I guess. That's the next
and
one.
I respect it, you know? And it kind of plays to, I feel like maybe kind of like how Hannah likes reading continuations. Like, I know... Like, I know you like to read more, like, you're fine, like, reading about, like, characters and just kind of what they're doing, right?
Yeah,
And,
yeah, I like low stakes.
yeah. And so there's a lot of people, I think, who, like, keep continuing to read them because they just like to be in this world with these characters. Whereas, like, for me, I don't really care enough. Like, I like character-driven stories, but I do need a plot, and it's just at the point where I'm like, like I said, there's so many catastrophes happening in this goddamn world. I'm like,
yeah.
it's like almost too much. But then I look outside our window and I'm like, you mean maybe not, but still.
Yeah, I mean, it is realistic, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I'm like, do I want to keep
It
reading?
is 6 degrees in July, but...
Yeah, also, what happened with the murder wasp subplot?
What?
We just lost that one? There were, like, the murder hornets in 2020, and they just went away.
Oh, the African killer bees?
Yeah, what
Or you
happened
mean
with that?
the new ones?
There's new
they're
ones?
Yeah, no, so African killer bees were forever Africanized, I think. Were from when we were kids, I think.
Yeah.
But then there was like a new like kind of hornet that arrived or something. I don't really remember. I don't think they were as bad as the Africanized killer bees.
Okay.
Because those are just mad.
They're just angry.
mad all the time.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Yeah. Anyway,
Um,
Sam kind of
least-
called me out, but I wanted
No,
to...
I meant it in the best way. It's just...
Hannah likes reading fan fiction.
Hannah does like reading fan fiction. I was gonna
That's
say
it.
that, like, people who write, like, maybe people who write the Shadowhunter Chronicles or who write Supernatural or the MCU or whatever need to figure out a way to kind of reset things back to being able to tell lower stakes stories.
Yeah.
Like, just because you saved the world in Avengers Endgame or whatever doesn't mean that, like, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man can't just hang out in his friendly neighborhood later, you know?
Yeah, or he can't like have some like a different villain who's lower. Like you can go back to telling a smaller story that you can still tell in such a way that's dramatic, right? It doesn't have to be that, and now the world will explode. It's like you could just go back to being like, and someone's trying to like take over the city.
Well, like, and that's like the problem with like all of the Shadowhunters ones is it's always like, we're trying to kill all the Shadowhunters, and it's like, can't it just be like, I don't know, some like a vampire is doing something wrong? I can't even think of anything because I'm not a good
Someone's
storyteller.
trying to crash the economy. Just do like a heist.
Just like
a heist can be in a small geographic area. Everybody loves a heist. Just put the
Yeah.
Shadowhunters and make them do a heist.
Benoit Blanc does the Shadowhunters.
Oh, that'd be funny. But yeah, I think that's more the case is like, I'm fine. Like, there should be a conflict. That's fine, whatever. It's just like, not every conflict needs to be like, oh my God, the end of all Shadowhunters is coming, blah, 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 blah. And like, it's just too much for me. And like, she's also released a number of anthologies and short stories and everything. I haven't read any of them because, again, I'm not the kind of person that just like wants to read about characters doing everyday stuff.
Yeah.
I
know, which is why like you almost would love this because it would give you so much content.
Damn it.
Like there's at least 3 or 4 anthologies, and then she brings other authors in to like write in them too. There's a few
that's fun.
spin-off series. Like there's one couple that I think you guys will both love. They have a spin-off series, and like anyways, there's a whole thing. It's so much. It's an expansive world.
It's so much. I know. I feel like I can't really talk because I have read all like 43 or whatever books in the Valdemar Mercedes Lackey series.
Mhm.
But like again, it's a lot of the trilogies happen like hundreds of years apart. So like, you know, it's like you're just in this country that is surrounded by like other countries and just like stuff happens. So like in this one series, it's like, oh, there's an evil wizard coming from over here. And then another series, it's like one of the countries has been taken over by fanatics and they've decided to wage war. You know, it's just like I feel like it's just different every time. It's not like bigger or worse every time. It's just like You just have to come up with different things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And leave these characters alone. They deserve their happy ending.
Yeah.
Stop messing with them.
And like, I think like my big thing too is like I like a small cast of characters. Like I like 6 kind of like main characters.
Yeah.
And like one of my biggest issues with the most recent trilogy was there was like I think like 12 or something, like almost double. Like there were
That's a lot.
many characters. So and it's like I feel like it's just hard to flesh out because I like relationships. I like the bonding between characters, and it's hard to flesh out to the point of what I like when you have that many characters. So like I think that's a big thing. But she threw in like the most unnecessary love triangle. Like anyway, I don't want to. We're not talking about those books. We're talking about the original, the one that started it all.
The one that started it all.
Yeah.
Maybe not the best one, but it is the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think City of Glass was my favorite in the original trilogy. That's the third one. There's City of Bones, City of Ashes, and City of Glass.
What's the first trilogy called?
The Mortal Instruments trilogy.
Oh, we talked about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like actually let me Google because the next 3 I can't remember if they're separate. I think they're a continuation of the Mortal Instruments. I don't think that they're their own trilogy. But I need to confirm that.
Maybe in the City of Glass, they meet what's his face, who has the Throne of Glass.
Okay.
No.
And there's a crossover.
No.
I can't even remember what his name is, so I can't make the joke.
Yeah, okay, so the next 3 are also considered the Mortal Instruments series. So City of Fallen Angels, City of Lost Souls, and City of Heavenly Fire. Those ones weren't planned. Like, so the original trilogy was Bones, Ashes, Glass. Sorry, not glasses, Glass. And then
City of Glasses.
After the success of those...
Everybody here is short-sighted.
Yeah, after the success of those, she wrote Fallen Angels, which was not well received, Lost Souls, and Heavenly Fire. I think Heavenly Fire was decently well received, but City of Fallen Angels was a hot mess. But anyways. So, yeah.
But the ones after those ones.
The after ones. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I haven't reread those ones as recently. I probably should. I probably will after all of this, to be honest.
Maybe you'll want to.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, as I proved with Aragon, just because you read a book in this podcast and the podcast format makes the book fucking suck, it doesn't mean you won't enjoy rereading the rest of the series.
I mean, I bought all 3 at a library sale for $7, so I have the first 3 again.
Oh, nice.
I sadly got rid of mine because I don't know why I did. When I moved from Ontario back to here, I think I was in a state of like, ugh, I've outgrown these, and I got rid of them, and I regret it deeply. I shouldn't have got rid of them. But now I have the first 3 again, so...
Now you can buy them all again, which is the best part about getting books.
I had like first editions of the Infernal Devices. Those could have maybe been worth money.
That's a little sad. Yeah.
That is a little sad. But maybe someone else will find them and be stoked.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's nice.
Probably the Port Credit Salvation Army. Someone, if you found them, you're welcome.
Someone was excited. One of our 9 listeners, if you found them.
Let us know.
That would be wild. Please tell us.
Oh my god, that'd be so cool.
It would be so wild. Well, I, as per usual, have a fun little game. If we want to do that now. The game is I ask you questions and you guys have to answer them.
So like a quiz.
So like a quiz.
How
you guys
fun.
like quizzes?
Kind of.
Kind of. I bet you do. No, I don't remember what I did last time, but I'm gonna be nicer? It's multiple choice this time.
Oh. I don't think we've had multiple choice before. I excel at multiple choice. And in so saying, I'm going to doom myself to
You're going to do
failure.
the worst possible job on this one.
Absolutely.
What's going to happen? Okay, so as per usual, the one we're going to start with is relating to how many copies this book sold.
Oh, yeah.
So, the terrible news here is that no individual book in this series sold well enough to make this list of best-selling books.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so we're working with the whole series.
As in, like, the trilogy or the whole universe? Or what?
All of it.
All of it. Okay.
All of it. Shadowhunters complete. And I'm going to ask you which section of this Wikipedia page you think they're in. So, the options are more than 100 million copies.
Okay.
Between 50 million and 100 million copies. Between 30 and 50 million copies. 30 million and 50 million copies. Between 20 and 30 million copies. Between 15 and 20 million copies.
Can we have a benchmark at like 50 or something?
Yeah, exactly. So that was the next step.
Oh, sorry.
More than 100 million copies, as you can guess, are like the Harry Potters, the Goosebumps,
Goosebumps,
the Nancy Drews, the Percy Jackson and the Olympians.
Oh, really? Oh.
The Twilights.
Yeah.
Again, the whole series. So
the whole series. That's true.
Yeah.
And there's so many of those.
Sorry, what was that benchmark? 50 million?
That was more than 100
million. Okay, yeah.
So that's one category. Next is between 50 and 100 million. That's my guess.
That one.
And for that, we've got
Me too,
George R. R. Martin. We've got The Wheel of Time, Discworld. What else is on this?
Okay, well, this is all dude fantasy so far.
The Magic School Bus.
Dude fantasy.
That's for everybody. Okay, I'm gonna. That's
fantasy.
Both of you are guessing that one.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm gonna give you some examples from the other ones. Just maybe the next one, and okay.
Yeah.
Maybe all of them. Who knows? Between 30 million and 50 million, we've got Warriors.
Oh.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what? Wait. You don't know what Warriors is?
Isn't it Warrior Cats?
It's the Warrior Cats?
Warriors?
Yeah.
Oh,
Warrior
okay.
Cats.
Also in this category is Divergent.
Ugh.
Between 30 and 50 million copies. Also in this category is Akatar.
Oh, interesting.
And Inheritance Cycle.
Also interesting.
So that's So this category is below the one you guessed then. The next one
is this so Sam, is this series better or more popular than Aragon from the same time period?
Is it more popular than Akatar? Is it less popular
Akatar
than
didn't
Akatar?
exist at the time,
I feel like
so
that's not a fair comparison. Also, it's a different audience.
I think Aragon was more
I feel
popular.
like the Aragon I would have thought so too.
But
also Aragon only has the 5 books out now.
Yeah, and this has more books, and like I'm kind of using streamer logic. Like, you know how artists release thousands of variants of their songs now? I feel like just by sheer number of books in the series, it has to I feel like it's above them, but yeah.
I agree with that logic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So you're sticking with your original guns. Okay. Just to the last two categories, 20 to 30 million. We got the Outlander books. We got Artemis Fowl. We got the Dune books.
Oh.
Fucking Dune.
We got the Cosmere.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And then between 15 and 20 million, we got Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. We got Philip Pullman, His Dark Materials. We got not Maximum Ride. Not that. Yeah. So which grouping are we thinking?
I'm starting to doubt it, but
I'm confident.
Same one.
I think it's still 50 to 100.
50 to 100. Well, I actually don't know how to say if you won or not because it's apparently sold exactly 50 million copies.
Okay.
But in the Wikipedia article, it puts it in the category below the one you guys said.
Interesting.
Because it's
that's every Shadowhunters book?
Up to 50 million. Yeah, this says 14 plus 8 companion books.
Yeah.
Oh, cheapers.
On the list. This doesn't... What's happening here? Okay, yeah. I don't know why it was organized the way it was. The way it was organized, it was literally one slot above Akatar. But in numbers, it's done more than Akatar. Because Akatar has done about 38 million.
38
and
million.
Then Shadowhunters is 50 million.
50 million is a lot of books.
That's a lot of books.
It's like so many.
Not as much as the Magic School Bus.
Well, there's a lot of those books. There's like hundreds of those, aren't there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow, great guesses, everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks. Thanks. Great work.
Thanks.
I was also trying to find, like, if it had been on the bestseller lists, all that kind of stuff. I didn't really find anything about that without having to also open the Wikipedia page and maybe spoil myself.
Yeah. Did they make audiovisual media about it other than the first movie that I saw?
You bet. They made a whole ass Shadowhunters TV show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I knew that, didn't I?
I think it lasted...
That happened when we lived in Toronto.
Yeah, it lasted 4 seasons, I think. And it kept, like, the main plot, but it went way off the rails on so many places. And the acting was so bad. And but it got 4 seasons and the movie never got a sequel, so I mean it did something right.
Wow, it did something. That's for dang sure. I went down to the awards and recognition section on this book just so I wouldn't have to spoil myself on the plot. But there's 3 awards, which meant I could see the other stuff that was on the page, which has allusions to other works.
Okay.
And apparently I was correct to be slightly confused because in City of Bones, Cassandra Clare includes references to the works of Holly Black, who is a friend of Claire's.
Oh, yeah, they're like besties.
Oh, yeah?
So no wonder. Yeah.
They've been like besties since the beginning. Like they've written a few things together too.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Huh.
That explains why I was confused. Apparently also she includes references to the works of Philip Reeve, whose Mortal Engines quartet she drew inspiration from.
Okay. Well,
okay.
They're very different, though.
That sounds like a crime to me. Plagiarism. We found it.
I don't know what Mortal Engines is about, but isn't it about like moving cities or something?
I think it's like steampunk.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like,
is this book steampunk?
No.
It's got Clockwork Angels in later ones.
Yeah, I don't know. City of Ash sounds like a steampunk thing.
It's not at all.
They have funny steampunk runes.
I could be also getting confused because I have not read these Philip Reeve books, but I have read Behemoth by Scott Westfield, which the covers like are very similar in vibe, and Behemoth is very steampunk, and I always get these books confused, even though I haven't read the other one.
So we're like 3 layers deep here.
Yeah, we're 3 layers deep of me being really wrong about stuff.
Okay.
Anyway, that's what I had to say about the Wikipedia page for here.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to check to see what the average Goodreads rating is for this book.
Wow. What a good idea.
Yeah. What do we think?
3.8.
I'm going to say, I was going to say that. It's 3.6.
Oh, it's actually 4.07. That's pretty good for the first book in a 2000s YA.
Yeah.
It must be good.
People didn't get as mad at the way they did about Twilight.
Yeah.
I feel like people hate reviewed Twilight, you know?
Yeah.
For like they didn't read it.
I still can't fucking handle this cover art. I hate it so deeply.
Wow, I was so mean. I rated all of these 3 stars. I must have gone through like a hate period. Okay, I rated City of Lost Souls 4.
Despite reading them.
City of Heavenly Fire, that probably got 5. That got 5, yeah. That was a good book.
It's a good one. Oh.
Apparently, City of Bones hit the top 7 of the New York Times bestseller list. But anyway, good for her. Is she Canadian? Why did your friend know her?
They met at, like I said, she came to do like a book event, like promoting the first ones, and she was like one of the first few who I think had read it before like City of Ashes was even out. Like, I genuinely don't know.
They were fan fiction
All I
buddies.
know is that I read this arc.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I had a copy of it.
Is your friend Holly Black?
Oh
I don't even... Oh, wait, I do remember her last name. I was like, for a second, I was like, I don't remember her last name, but I do. No, she was in high school with me.
I was going to ask if you were still in...
Am I still in touch with them? No.
Yeah, because if you were, then we could get Cassandra Clare on this podcast.
Oh my god, never. No,
Can you
absolutely
imagine?
not.
My body would shrivel into a husk and blow away in the wind.
I don't think that person is like actively reading really anymore. I don't even know. Do I have them on Instagram?
Are they posting books? Wow, apparently the City of Bones movie was filmed primarily in Toronto.
Wow.
Now we're at the point where I'm just reading fun facts, so I think we should maybe wrap up.
I did see that Robert Sheehan was also in the City of Bones movie when I was Googling it, which means that there are 2 hot Irish guys who were in that movie, so maybe I should watch it.
Maybe this movie was good, actually.
Maybe this movie was good. I remember being absolutely baffled. I did not follow a single thing that happened in it, even at the time.
I wonder if it's like when I went to see the Mario movie, and I was like, this movie would be really great if all of the dialogue lines were just muted. Like, just leave the sound, the music, and the visuals, and I would love this movie.
Just let me look at the Marios.
Maybe, yeah, the colors and the music was good. Maybe that's how I would feel about City of Bones, the movie.
iPad kid ass comment.
Well, they made the movie for iPad kids. That's the problem. Not City of Bones. They made Mario, just in case that wasn't clear.
City of Bones they made for millennials.
Okay, I'm going to start talking about other things that I'm reading.
Okay, should we guess what happens in the first chapter?
Should we guess what happens in the first chapter?
Should I be the one who reads it now? Because I feel like there's literally no point in me guessing. I know everything that happens in this book.
Wow.
Okay. Are there chapter titles?
Okay.
Sam, tell us the first chapter title.
No. There is. Yeah. Okay. So chapter 1 is called Pandemonium. And your sentence is, "You've got to be kidding me," the bouncer said, folding his arms across his massive chest.
Maximum Ride vibes.
Maximum.
She's underage and trying to get into a bar with a fake ID.
Yeah.
That's clearly not her.
Pandemonium has to be like a club for magical guys.
Oh, I was saying that some shit goes down and chaos breaks out and there's pandemonium.
I don't remember if the magical stuff is known in the world or not, but I'm going to guess that the club is secretly for magical guys.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good guess.
But she's trying to get in for some reason, not because of that. And then she accidentally magic guys, you know?
Do we think that she...
Yeah.
Do we think that she, the main character, Clary, which I remember for some reason, knows that there is magic? And that's why she's trying to get into this magical club called Pandemonium.
I'm getting so confused between all the Holly Black books I've read now. Now that I know they know each other. I'm going to say she does.
Okay.
She's like an orphan and her parents were killed by magical guys or something, and she's trying to find who murdered them.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Locking it in. That's what happens.
Locking it in. Guess we'll find out what happens.
That was funny.
Yes.
Funny because we were so correct. She's
so impressed with us.
You're not terrible.
Not terrible, unless the bouncer is like.
I actually don't know where. Dad?
He is not. I will tell you that.
To a motorcycle.
I think the hot motorcycle werewolf dad is her stepdad.
Oh no. Well, we can lust after him.
Yeah, we're old enough. We'll find out later.
Yeah.
It's fine. Hot dads for all. Okay. Anyway, great guess, everyone. I'm going to talk about what else I'm reading, which I honestly don't remember because I haven't updated my Goodreads in several weeks, but I will tell you that I'm reading a book I don't want to talk about.
Is it
a monster romance?
Does it have a monster?
I don't want to talk about it.
I bet it's a monster romance. Sophie's been reading a lot of monster romance.
No, I've been reading a normal amount.
Sure.
No, the one I will actually talk about is Whispers of the Deep, which is a monster romance. But I'm mad about it because literally all the reviews of it are like, wow, mermaid monster fuckers, get hype. And then the like preamble in the book or whatever, the author's note is like, there's mermaid fucking in this book. Just deal with it. And then I read the book, and like the first 3/4 of the book have no
fucking
monster fucking at all. They just have like a pretty good post-apocalyptic undersea sci-fi adventure going on.
Let me just
And
read
then
this
there's
to my
like
TBR.
4 pages where they have sex, and then it goes back to being a pretty good plot.
Sorry, and what was this book called again? For
Whispers
reasons?
of the
I just
Deep.
bought it on Amazon.
Yeah. I'm genuinely very worried that you're gonna read it and be like, Sophie, there was so much monster fucking in this book. And
Wait,
I'm gonna be like, I didn't even know
I can't find it.
Why? Whispers
I don't
is
know.
that did I call it the wrong thing? Whispers of the Deep?
Oh, of the Deep?
Maybe Whispers of the Deep.
Okay.
It's got
I
a
had
mermaid
Whispers
on
in
it.
the Deep. I made a
No.
mistake.
How
Yeah,
dare
Whispers
you,
in the
first of
Deep
all.
is like 15 books that all have 0 ratings and 0 reviews.
Oh, and no mermaids on the cover?
And no mermaids.
There's
Tragic.
definitely mermaids on the cover of Whispers of
Okay.
the Deep. Anyway. There is, I do have to say, he is a weird fish man, and they do have sex. But
That's
I read
what
it for
I'm
the
here
plot.
for.
That's about it. Honestly, I also hadn't picked up a monster fucking book for about 2 weeks. I'm in a very deep book slump.
Uh-huh.
It's rough over here. But yeah, that's what I've been reading. If you didn't hear, if it cut from me saying, I guess I'll talk about what I'm reading now, and then me just saying that's what I'm reading, it's because I went back and told Sam I don't want that public.
It's on your Goodreads.
TBD.
We all know.
It's on
we
my
all
Goodreads.
know.
Yeah. It's the part where I talk about reading other ones.
Oh.
It's fine. Whatever. What are you guys reading? Save me from this moment. I've been reading otherwise PDFs of our coding.
Oh.
What about you guys?
I might maybe have gotten out of my slump. I don't know. Remains to be seen, but I've made progress at least. I think every book that I had mentioned previously is now done, so go me.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
But I started The Book Eaters by Sonia Dean, which was our June Midlight book club book. Listen, it's July 2nd. I did start reading it on June 30th. I was behind, and
Okay.
I'm
Our
almost
best.
caught up now, so we're getting there. And then I listening to When He Was Wicked, which is the 6th Bridgerton book, which is focused on Francesca. If you watch the show, I told myself I wouldn't read any more of the Bridgerton books, but then I watched the show again, and well, I needed to read more Bridgerton books. So here I am reading book 6. And then I decided while I was in the London Gatwick bookstore.
Is that how the English say
no.
it?
The
Yeah.
London Gatwick.
how the
I
Irish
said
say
it
it.
again. Oh my god. I need to go to bed.
You're stuck.
London.
It's 8:25.
Shut up. I've been awake since 4:30. Do not with
Oh
me.
my god.
Your dog's not gonna let you go to bed this early. Don't be
No,
foolish.
he won't, but my brain. Anyways, in the London Gatwick Airport bookstore, I found a book called Hunting the Falcon, which is apparently a history of Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn, my main bitch.
Yeah.
Oh my god, your Roman Empire.
Yeah.
Which we all have known forever is your Roman
Aye.
Empire.
Anyways,
Well-known fact.
love
Yeah.
that bitch. Yeah, I found the audiobook on Libby ready to borrow, so I decided to start listening to it. That's that. That took far too long. My brain hurts. Please put me out of my misery.
All
Who's
right.
next?
Me. I've read 10 books since our last recording, but 7 of them were novellas.
Wow. Okay.
Including the 5 Murderbot novellas.
Wow.
And I love them. I love Murderbot.
Wow. I'm so excited.
It's so good.
I love Murderbot.
Big fan.
I knew you would love Murderbot, maybe as much or more than me.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, this is for me.
Mm-hmm.
My other friend who's not on this podcast also spent several days trying to convince me to read Murderbot.
I'm glad this was one of those cases where you decided, instead of just being like, absolutely not, 2
Yeah.
people have tried to make me read it, that you actually read it. Thank you for that.
Yeah, well, she pitched it to me as like low stakes sci-fi with a like neurodivergent coded agender robot who just wants to watch TV. And I was like, yes.
Yeah. And yet the stakes are somehow still high.
The stakes are somehow still high, and yet it's...
Are they?
Nice. Anyway, I have the 2 novels in that series still to go, pending Libby. I've also read the first 2 books in the Scholomance trilogy by Naomi Novik, which is surprisingly good YA, and Stiff: The Curious Lives of Human Cadavers by Mary Roach, which was fascinating. I've read 10 books, and I really enjoyed 9 of them, so that was pretty chill. Yeah, it was great.
That's great.
And then currently I am listening to Dragonhaven, which is a Robin Hobb epic fantasy book, and I got an arc from NetGalley of A Sorceress Comes to Call by T. Kingfisher, so I started reading that.
I'm excited about that one too.
I only read 5 chapters so far, but
good.
I don't know why I growled. And then again, pending my Libby holds, maybe next time I'll be listening to I forgot what it's called, A Fate Inked in Blood. Is that right?
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Sam's birthday month book.
Sam's birthday book.
I like that Sam uses her birthday month to make her read a book she's been meaning to read for a while, and I make you guys read a book that I want you guys to read.
It's usually what I do. I think this year I might make us all read something off my physical TBR, but I haven't decided.
That's my strategy, see?
It's a good strategy.
It is!
Maybe you can pick City of Brass, since I didn't.
Oh, I could. Great. Okay, if you liked this episode of Midlight Crisis and are excited to come with us to the City of Bones to hunt shadows...
Lol. Yeah.
Consider rating and reviewing us on Spotify or your podcatcher of choice. You can talk to us and find fun-related content on social media. We are at Midlight Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Tumblr. Did I miss one? Who cares? And all chapters of the show thus far are available on our website, midlightpod.podbean.com, and on YouTube.
And I don't really have an outro, but our one and only Twilight author decided to give City of Bones a testimonial, so here it is. The Mortal Instruments series is a story world that I love to live in. Beautiful, by Stephanie Meyer, author of Twilight, on the cover of City of Bones by Cassandra Clare.
Wow.
That's
I don't know that I'd want to live in any...
No.
I don't know. It just seems like a cool place to live. So